Welcome back to Empress Radio, where we do trending topics and reality TV and live streams. So join us now. Do you need to build your YouTube channel, or do you have a business or a website that you need to rebrand? Well, join us now at Empress Consults at www.empressconsults.com or hit us up on Instagram at Empress Radio. Okay, so enjoy the video now. Welcome back to Empress Radio. The live will be starting soon. All right. Hey, everyone. So as you guys could see from the commercial, we are now back accepting clients for our web developing. If you guys need a website or a web redesign for your business, make sure to contact me at www.empressconsults.com. Thank you for everyone who's been reaching out and who's been booking consultations, and everybody who has been sharing our business. Okay, so let's talk about some Love and Marriage Huntsville topics. So it looks like there's still some trouble in paradise with Martell and Arionne, because he's throwing major shade at Arionne. He liked this video where this guy was having a lot to say. It was like a poem or something like that. So I'm gonna let you guys see this video here.
And I fucking hate it, but if I leave, she'll be devastated. I want to leave her, but I don't want an us either. I love her enough to stay, but I don't love her enough to say, I'm not happy here. And I fucking hate it, but if I leave, she'll be devastated. And I care about her, I just don't care about her. If that makes any sense. And I know I'm probably making it worse by not telling her that, but every time she sees me, she's gladder than glad. And how do you tell someone as happy as that you're not as happy as that? Is it the sex? The way I bleep when I'm bleeping her? But just because I put it deeply into her doesn't mean I'm deeply into her. Why does she even like coming over? Why does she even like coming over? There's not much to do. You know how I know I'm not enthused? She'll text me, hey, I'm thinking about coming through. You want me to? And I'll respond, it's up to you. I'm not even sure if I was really in love at all. Don't want to leave her, but I don't want an us either. I love her enough to stay, but I don't love her enough to say, I'm not happy here. And I fucking hate it, but if I leave, she'll be devastated. And I care about her, I just don't care about her. If that makes any sense. And I know I'm probably making it worse by not telling her that, but every time she sees me, she's gladder than glad. And how do you tell someone as happy as that you're not as happy as that? Is it the sex? The way I bleep when I'm bleeping her? But just because I put it deeply into her doesn't mean I'm deeply into her. Why does she even like coming over? Why does she even like coming over? There's not much to do. You know how I know I'm not enthused? She'll text me, hey, I'm thinking about coming through. You want me to? And I'll respond, it's up to you. I'm not even sure if I was really in love at all.
You guys could see at the bottom, Martell liked it, and the caption read, may this type of love never find me. I was like, wow. After 10 years, Arionne, he's still throwing shade about you online. Okay, so now let's talk about this update. There's some court updates with the whole Maurice Scott thing, and it looks like OWN Network has scored a major win in this case. They have been dismissed yet again. I think this is the third motion to dismiss that got granted, maybe the fourth. But yes, so they are officially off the case again. I don't know if they're going to try to get them back on there, but yes. So also Maurice has filed a new motion So shout out to T from TV for these updates. As you guys can see, Maurice J. Scott. So as you guys can see, this is the order that just came out April 15, 2025, for a hearing on various pending motions and responses thereto, having considered the arguments and representations of counsel, and after due consideration of all relevant and applicable law, it is ordered, adjudged, and decreed by the court as following. 1. The plaintiff/counter defendant's motion for judgment of the pleadings and fees and costs under the Alabama Litigation Accountability and filed on January 5th, 2025 is hereby denied. 2. Helen Griffin's motion for the court to enter a default judgment against Scott without delay filed on January 7, 2025 is hereby denied. 3. The third-party defendant Oprah Winfrey Network's motion to dismiss Helen Griffin's third amended cross-complaint filed on January 10, 2025 is hereby granted. Done this 15th day of April 2025. So as you guys could see, Oprah Winfrey Network, which is owned, was dismissed. There's no default judgment against Maurice, so it looks like they might be going to trial. And then the pleadings and fees and costs is denied. So those are some of the updates. Now let's get into Maurice's. All right, so let's get into Maurice's motion. Plaintiff/counter defendant's answer to defendant/counter claimant's Helen Griffin's counterclaim. So it says, come now, plaintiff/counter defendant Maurice J. Scott Sr. And here and after Mr. Scott and hereby files this answer to the defendant's counterclaim complaint. Mr. Scott states as follows. Defendant denies all material allegations and demands strict proof thereof. Defenses. 1. Plaintiff's complaint fails to state any claim upon which relief may be granted. Lack of damages, contributory negligence, waiver. No adequate remedy of law, failure to mitigate damages, conditions precedent, failure to plead fraud with particularity, no reliance, punitive damages not permissible, unilateral mistake of fact, Scrivener's error, privilege, immunity, no private right of action, failure of condition precedent, misrepresentation, lack of casual relationship, acquiescence, failure to preserve confidentiality, good faith, no intent to defraud, immunity, statement is privileged, no government action, statutory compliance, circulatory of action, unclean hands, in pari delicto, supervening cause, intervening cause, preemption, claimant's own conduct or the conduct of its agents, representations, and consultants. Defendants may have additional defenses and therefore reserve same. Wherefore, having fully answered, defendant prays this honorable court for an order dismissing the action with prejudice as defendants' cost attorneys for defendants' costs herein expanded for such other and further relief as this court deems just and proper in circumstances. Sincerely, Maurice J. Scott. So that is the order. Right, so you guys heard that. So it's just kind of crazy to me that this case is really going to trial after all this time. Like, you know, Maurice wanted it to get dismissed, even though he's the one who kind of started it. But on network, they got dismissed. So I guess they're going to trial Maurice versus the blogger. So it's pretty crazy. You know, all this started from, I guess, you know, personal information being pulled that was the wrong information, and Maurice just wanted an apology and, you know, a retraction, I guess, and he made this video on IG.
Hey, good afternoon. Happy Monday to you guys. Well, I'm actually here to address something that's very serious. I've recently run across a blogger who's been putting false information out there, and I wanted to make sure that no one is misled by this information. First of all, my name is Maurice Scott, Maurice Jefferson Scott Sr. And if you're going to do research on a Maurice Scott, make sure that you're researching the right person. I'm Maurice Jefferson Scott. I do not have a criminal history. I've never been arrested. I don't have anything more than a citation or a traffic ticket. That's the most I have. Citations and or traffic tickets. That's the very most. Never been in handcuffs. My reputation is something that I'm very, very proud of. And I'm going to defend it. The second thing is, I think that we really need to separate some of this reality television from reality. Okay. And there's an issue that sometimes if we don't see it on reality television, then it's not real. However, I'm an active practicing lawyer. So I'm not going to play about my law license. That's another thing that I'm very proud of. It took me a lot of hard work. Graduated valedictorian in my class and passed the bar first time with flying colors. So not only am I an active practicing lawyer, I have multiple cases. And it's not just in Alabama. I have cases that are co-counseled in other jurisdictions. That's states as well. Okay. So just want to make sure that you guys understand I'm going to protect both of those. So this is one of the things that I want to encourage like bloggers to do. Do a little better research before you attach someone's name to a criminal history. It's very important that you do your homework. It's actually reckless and dangerous if you don't. Some of the allegations were extremely, extremely dangerous. Attaching my person to that criminal enterprise puts not just me at danger, because there may be other people that were involved that think that now I'm that target. So it's not just me that you might put in danger. You might also put my family in danger. So this is something that's very, very serious to me. Even further, I normally don't get on social media and go back and forth with bloggers or try to correct narratives or whatever. But sometimes when, we can't separate reality from reality television and lines that get crossed, then I'll actually step in and address this. So in closing, I'm very, very proud of my reputation. And I spoke to Carlos King earlier today. And you know what? Carlos said, maybe before you just actively just sue them, how about you give them an opportunity to retract their statement? And I'm going to go even one further, right? Because that's actually a good idea. Being in this business for as long as Carlos has been in the business, he's seen all kind of, stories and narratives and everything else. But I'm going to go one further and give you an opportunity to retract. And I want a public apology for those two situations. Anyone that's speaking negatively about those two situations, I'll give you 10 days. Take the stuff down, and I want a public apology behind it because it's false information and you could have done a much better job. And it was called into question many a times on your own post. It was called into question the accuracy of the information, and you recklessly disregarded that information. You also posted it multiple times and you shared the information as if it was true. What I will tell you is this: I'm very, very serious about this, and you will find yourself on the opposite side of a lawsuit, and you'll know that not only am I an attorney, I'm a good one.
So the caption said, "It's unfortunate that I have to make this post, but necessary. Content creators have a responsibility to make sure that they don't run afoul of the law when they post about people. There's a line where free speech stops and defamation starts, and a good blogger knows the difference. They should also know how the use of buzzwords like allegedly and in my opinion work as well, because it can create unnecessary confusion and danger for their subjects. You don't have to like me, but it's unwise to run afoul of the law while doing so. Correct it, or a fool and their money will soon part. Maurice Scott Sr., Esquire." And he tags Carlos King and Lovemere Huntsville, blogger, content creator, lawsuit, retraction. This was November 27, 2023. So this has been going on. Oh my God, that's crazy. Heard that. So I'm just wondering if Maurice is regretting all this, like starting the lawsuit and things like that, because now it's going to trial. It never got dismissed on his part. It never got dismissed on, the blogger's part. There is no default judgment, so that got denied. So that was a win for Maurice. And then, like I said, Own Network got dismissed. So that was a win for Own Network. But what do you guys think about this? What do you want to happen? Drop your comments below. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more videos from Empress Radio. Okay, bye.